Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's menu is gonna be frozen berry crumble in the air fryer. This is gonna be my first time, so I thought we could just do it together, so please make sure you stay tuned. So as I mentioned before, I have not made this berry crumble before in my air fryer. I used fresh fruit in the past, but I have not done this for a while, and I really wanted to give this a go because it just seems really easy. So the ingredients we're gonna need is 200 grams of frozen fruit, or you can use fresh fruit. So I've got some frozen berry mixture, and I got Ella's little fingers here stealing fruit per usual. So it's totally measured out. It's been in the freezer for a while. It's a 1 kilogram of frozen berries. I think it's a wonky one, so it doesn't really, whatever you got at hand. So I said, if you've got fresh strawberries, you can use fresh strawberries, raspberries, but this recipe is like frozen fruit, frozen berries. So we're gonna need 200 grams of this, which is already measured out as I mentioned it. And we've got 90 grams of plain flour. Again, it's been measured out. I did not have to shift it through, so you just measure it plainly. We've got 55 grams of cold cube butter. So again, I do use salted butter. We always have it at home, so this is salted, but the recipe doesn't ask for salted or unsalted, so I guess whatever you've got at hand. To be honest, I think if you've got margarine, if you've got vegetable oil, or any kind of oil that would give it a little bit of a mixture, a little bit of a moisture, mix it in with the flour, I can imagine would work just fine. But the recipe did ask for 55 grams of cold cube butter, and also asked for 55 grams of demerara sugar. I always struggle to say this word, but I'm actually going to be using soft brown sugar. I don't think it makes a difference. Maybe a teeny tiny bit, but nothing majorly, I don't think. So if you've got any kind of sugar, you probably would be able to get away with it, but I've got soft brown sugar, and this is 55 grams. So I pre-measured everything, and again, Ella obviously will have to try this. And because this is my first time, I got these little ramekin dishes. So the recipe said use little dishes, so I'm not quite sure what size they are, but if you look, these are the smaller ones. So the diameter probably 1 thumb, and the height is probably about half, not half, pointer finger, not thumb. You see what I mean? So I just measure it like this because I haven't got a clue. Because I got, these are the smaller ones. We've got some larger ones as well. So this is just a rough measurement. So I would say it's probably the smaller ones. I don't know how many it's gonna make, so we'll see. I'm gonna be mixing everything together, but I tend to use ramekins in the air fryer when I bake like little things. For example, when I made apple and blackberry crumble, when we picked some apples and blackberries from the local orchard. But I always put a little bit of butter or a little bit of oil inside the ramekin, because I think it's going to be so much easier to do the washing up. And I also put my silicone liners inside my air fryer whenever I use ramekins, because this is ceramic, and I do get really paranoid that if this one goes straight on the actual shelf or even at the bottom of the air fryer, it would scratch it. So I don't really want to risk that, and I don't think it's gonna make a major difference, to be honest. Maybe it will add a little bit more to the baking time, but I wouldn't worry, to be honest. So I'm gonna be buttering these, and I'm gonna be doing the ingredients. So I will have to mix the butter with the flour. Again, Ella's little fingers are all over the place. So I'm gonna be mixing this up now. So I'm just gonna be gently buttering these ramekins. I am hoping that I'll be able to make 4 of them. If not, well, maybe I will have to kind of increase the recipe. next time. I'm just hoping. So yeah, so they all been buttered. So the recipe said preheat the air fryer, but I never preheat mine, so I'm not actually going to be doing it for this recipe. But I do have my flour, and I do have the butter. So mix it all in. And I need to put the sugar in it as well. The recipe says if your fruit is quite sharp, which I can imagine that maybe the berries might be a little bit on the sharp side, but you can just add a little bit of sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar, brown sugar or white sugar. I don't actually think it does make a massive difference, because I think we're probably gonna have it with a little bit of custard, a bit of ice cream. We haven't actually got any of that at home, but I'm gonna make this today, and we're just gonna have to wait for the custard or the ice cream tomorrow, if they're actually gonna last that long. So you see, I'm mixing it and mixing it. Sorry, I'm trying to be in the middle, but I do have issues with setting up this rig in our kitchen. So it is a little bit awkward, but it's just something that obviously I need both hands to do this. So it has to be a little bit of breadcrumb consistency, I guess. I guess if you've got your butter outside the fridge, then it would speed it up. We do have a butter bell, so if you haven't seen that video, then please go and check it out. I think it's an absolute lifesaver, because, well, we tend to just use the butter bell, but for this one I actually had a little bit of leftover butter in the fridge, and it was quite hard. I think that's why it's taking me longer. I should have probably used the butter from the butter bell, but we are getting there anyway. So this is gonna be the crumble bit. In the past I used Scottish oats for topping for crumbles, apple crumble or any kind of berry crumble, and I even used cornflakes in the past. I think you can experiment really, because I find it with the oats I ended up doing too much and there was a lot of crumble on the top, and I don't want to make the same mistake. So I think we are almost there. So I'm going to pop this on the side, and I'm going to get the berries and I'm going to put them in the ramekin, and I will just put the topping on as well. So what I'll do, I think I'm just going to wash my hand because it's very, very sticky. And I'm back, so let's see. I've got my fruit. Just gonna be popping them at the bottom. But I see that quite a few of these, I think they are called loganberries. So I may actually sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top, because I think they might be a little bit sharp. So I think if I had more strawberries or other kind of berries, in there, then I would say, let me taste this. It's very nice, very berry-like, but I will put a teeny tiny bit of brown sugar, I think, on the top. As I said, you can use, I'm pretty sure you can use any kind of sugar. And I'm not going to go mad. I'm just going to give it a bit of a sprinkle. Put a little bit in my hand. I'm just gonna sprinkle it, because I think especially my daughter, I think she'll be a little bit like, oh mommy, it's a bit too sour. But you can leave it out, as I said, if you don't mind sharp fruit. Or I'm going to be trying this recipe with apple as well. And I think with apple you probably wouldn't need, depending on the type of apple I guess. But I'm going to be popping this over nicely. I do like using these trays because I just think if anything goes on the side, it's just easier to clean up. I'm going to be pushing it down a little bit. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I think these toppings should be enough for this, because I followed the recipe properly this time. As you know, I do like to experiment, but I thought I was gonna be good today and do everything properly. Alrighty, so I've got the 4 mini ramekins, and as I said, I'm not gonna be preheating my Ninja air fryer for this. This is my Ninja air fryer, so I do have the one with the 2 drawers, and this is what I mean. I've got a couple of these silicone ones. I really like using them. So this is not preheated, but what I'll be doing, I'll be popping these ramekins 2 in each drawer before I set it for air fry. The beauties are in there, so I've got 2 perfectly fitting in there actually. I think if I use the bigger ones, I probably wouldn't be able to put 2 in there. So what I'll do, put it on air fry. I will have to match it, and the setting is 180, and it will have to be 13 minutes. So we'll take a peek in 13 minutes and see if I need to pop it back or not. I presume it might be done. I mean, the recipe was quite specific about the time, and I think that's the average amount of time these crumbles should be done, so I can't wait to tuck in. So the 13 minutes is up. This one kind of looks a little bit kind of more brownish on the top than these actually, but you can see the bubbling of the berries around the edges, just at the back. This one I can't see any bubbling, to be honest, but what I'm gonna do, we're gonna put this in there and have a little look. Oh, looks pretty good actually. And I've got Ella next to me as well, so I'm just gonna check the other one as well again. You can see the berries, so it's definitely something's happening, or something's happened. But I'm gonna put them back for another 2 minutes, because I think the recipe did ask for a preheat for 2 minutes, and I have a feeling that they may need that additional 2 minutes that would have been with the preheat. So I just pop them back again. I'm gonna match them, air fry 180, and then pop them back for 2 minutes, and we have a look. I have a feeling it will be done, because we don't want to burn the top of these crumbles, but then by that cycle they would have been in the air fryer for 15 minutes. Here they are. So I've taken them out of the air fryer, and you can see the fruit around here. It all looks absolutely done. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a taste test. I have a feeling it's gonna be extremely hot though, because of the bubbling. might be like molten lava. I just want to demonstrate it for you. Actually, I'm just trying to think, might be the best way to do it this way. So taking it out. Fruit is done, definitely. A little bit more crumble than I thought there might be. Let me just turn this around so you see how much crumble there is. Quite a bit, I think. I think the fruit has sunk to the bottom quite a bit. So what I would do differently next time, I probably wouldn't be putting this much crumble on the top. Let me just have a taste test. Topping is very good. It's spot on, a bit crunchy, good consistency. Fruit is still a bit sharp, so I think I would increase the amount of sugar next time. In case you're wondering, I'm double dipping in this, but this is gonna be mine anyway. And I have a feeling that I would have to fight over the rest of them with my husband and my daughter. So I have a feeling this is probably the only one I'm going to be having. So let me try again. Very good. I'm just going to get my daughter and see what she's going to say about the crumble. Ella, I didn't think she was listening, but you've been around the corner, haven't you?
What?
You've been around the corner listening, waiting for the crumble to be done, yeah? No? Anyway, so this is very, very hot. So I'm gonna, Ella, careful please with the ramekins because it's very hot. And you need to blow on it, my love. Might be a bit sharp. Let me know. Ella loves sour, sweet and sour anyway. Those little Haribo things and the sour things. What do you think, else? Is it good?
Can I have that one?
But that was supposed to be mine.
Well, can I have it?
So what did I say?
Oh, you can have that one. I can have another one.
Okay, so we'll see. So the plan is to have this with custard and ice cream. But as I said, we haven't got any today, so we may have to wait until tomorrow to have these. What do you think, Ella?
No.
Yeah. Here you go. May not have to get any custard or ice cream.
I think we should. It's just so.
It's not gonna last that long, is it? She's stuck in. You don't think it's too sharp, Els?
No.
So out of 10, how many stars would you give? Hello is very, very critical when it comes to giving any kind of rating. So I would probably give about an 8 out of 10. Would you give an 8 out of 10? Wow, perfect. Why would you not
make it a 9?
Make it a 9. The reason I would give 8 out of 10 because I think the crumble is a bit too much. Like the topping is a bit too much.
No.
I don't think so anyway. I think it is a little bit too much. And I should have put a little bit more sugar in it because I find it a little bit sharp.
Maybe
it's a bit
you can
sharp.
Sprinkle it with sugar.
Exactly. Ella will sprinkle anything with sugar, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's not bad going. Very first time, 8 out of 10 from both of us. And now I just wish me luck because I need to stop Ella from eating the whole ramekin. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe and you will give it a go. Please let me know in the comment what sort of fruit you would use. Definitely the timing is a little bit off because I did not preheat my air fryer. So if I'd given the 2 minutes preheat that the recipe asked for, I think it probably would have been only about 13 minutes. But all in all, it's still not bad. So it's on 180 for 13 minutes. But preheat if you normally would do it, or if you don't preheat your air fryer, I think we can just add it to the end. So it took me 15 minutes on 180. So thank you very much for coming back to see me again if you're an existing viewer, and thank you very much for finding me if you're a new one. Please don't forget to check out one of my very early recipes It's not really a recipe as such, but the butterbell that I mentioned, I made that video, keep saying recipe, made that video a while back, but we absolutely love a butterbell. It's a game changer for us. So hopefully you will give this recipe a go. Please make sure you put it in a comment if you liked it. We definitely gave it 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good, especially coming from my daughter. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a lovely day, everybody. Take care. Goodbye for now.